All right.
All right.
Am I echoing? Okay, I just heard my voice. All right. Yeah, my name's Mike. I'm 47 years old. I live outside of Philly, champions of the Eagles, and I'm a teacher for 19 years. So I taught fourth grade for 7 years, fifth for 9, and then I'm back and forth, whatever that math is, 3, whatever that is. So that's just like a little bit of back story there. My story, the backstory is more about how I felt like I was very calculated. And I want you to, if anything, see like how Kratom was different than a lot of the other things that I felt like I dodged, bullets I dodged. I just want to, I mean, everybody's story is kind of a trigger warning. I am going to mention names of products, not because I'm trying to trigger anybody, but because I feel like we don't know what was in this shit. And if somebody else was on some of the stuff that I took and there's something that happens, God forbid, down the line, I don't know. That's my thought process on it. That like we could talk. So it is not at all to trigger. So I can't. My earliest memories of in my family were probably around when I was 6 or 7. So we'll get that out of the way. And I grew up in a family of 4. My dad, my mom, my sister. My dad's an alcoholic and recovering alcoholic and drug addict, as well as his father, who was never went to recovery, was an alcoholic. My grandmom on my dad's side, most likely an alcoholic. But as I said, I was very young when he was in his really hardcore using days. So I don't remember a whole lot, but my mom drove home the point that she was going to have her kids go through the same thing. So I remember bitching about drinking and onions I did not like and never really eat, but the drinking didn't seem to stick. I eventually wound up there. So fast forward to middle school, I was actually straight edge, and I was a skateboarder. So I got into the hardcore scene and even had the X's and stuff on my hands, going to concerts and stuff like that. So like it kind of followed suit. I did not want to, disappoint my dad. I was just very sensitive. Like we didn't want to have alcohol around in the house and shit like that, at family functions and stuff. So I was definitely very afraid of becoming an addict at a very young age and being like my dad in that way, not in other ways. He's my idol in other ways. So I got to about 9th grade, 10th grade, I'm still going hard on the hardcore straight edge stuff, but I'm starting to realize that like the chicks aren't really digging the 40 size 40 pants and the skater crew. So at that time, my dad and mom, there was a lot of fighting. Like, when he got sober, I guess she thought everything was going to be kosher. And we all know that there's a lot of work to be done after that. So I guess I was in a spot where like he kept leaving all the time, and like when things were really bad, backing up a little bit, I remember the church having to give us food and stuff, like when he was like taking it off the rails. But like that's like such like cloudy memories, like from that point. But yeah, so I decided like when he left that time towards 10th grade, I was like, I'm breaking the edge. That's what we used to say. So I was like, I went down. I had friends that were dabbling with weed and like cigarettes and shit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go down and get cigarettes. And my one boy's like, dude, you beat the peer pressure. Why the fuck are you doing that? And I'm like, whatever, I'm doing it. So I smoked cigarettes, started doing that. And then got weed, hit a joint, didn't really feel it at first. And then I got introduced to a bong and I saw sideways and it worked. And so started smoking weed a lot in 10th grade. And even getting real high before school, which is a teacher. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like going in there, just being like, whoa, everything's moving too fast. Not daily, but like messing with it. So that progressed into, I guess, and then I smoked Angel just a couple times in there. It was pretty much with me. It's like, what's your drug of choice? It's like whatever you got. Like I had choices, but what do you have? Let me see what you got. So in 11th grade, I drank my first beer after a prom and wasn't really feeling it, and just went back to the weed again. And then shrooms, started progressing into trying mushrooms. And then that went into, by 12th grade, still weed, shrooms, and now acid. So back to being calculated is I heard that you would go crazy if you did it more than 12 times. So I did it 12 times, and some of you might be like, well, we don't know that you're not crazy, but we'll take your word for it. Yeah, so it was, you know, I don't know why I heard that. And then Cancun came. That was about the end of 12th grade. I guess kind of there. That's when I started drinking. Like we were 18, you're allowed to drink, and I just went after it. You know, getting sick, throwing up in cabs and shit. Like just drinking was on. And then when I got back, I guess it was mid 12th grade, whatever that trip was. They all went to Disney World. You could tell by their pictures they weren't having as much fun as we were. And I just was like trying to get to parties where there was booze or whatever. Get to college, go to Kutztown. I'm timing myself here so I can speed this up. First time I get into Xanax, take a Xanax, fucking fall asleep, don't remember what happened, like not my drug. Nitrous tanks in freaking parties. I mentioned this part because I used to try to get high on different shit. Like it's not normal. Like cough medicine, I felt if I drank enough of it, I could get fucked up, and the room just went, and I just threw up. So didn't do that again. At that point, my roommate had introduced me to Ritalin and like snorting it. So I started snorting Ritalin a little bit, not on the daily. Like nothing was on the daily. I always kept it. Like, all right, that's a thing. Still drinking pretty heavy. Fall that year, since I broke my whatever snorting something, why not cocaine? You know, I used to smell it, so my friends, it was okay for them. Ha ha. So started dabbling with cocaine at Kutztown, buying 20 bags, just doing it. I never kept it. It never did it the next day. So it was gone when I got it. Then I went to Penn State, tried ecstasy, did that 3 times, noticed the calculations, know how many times you did it. Lost my hearing in my one ear for like a half hour. And yeah, that wasn't fun. So I didn't really fuck with that because I didn't know what was in it. I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit. So then that year I got my first underage drinking, and I was in a frat party, and the liquor control board busted in. So I kind of thought like I was just unfortunate to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Had to go to alcohol class, did that, lost my license for 3 months. Summer comes, now I'm down the shore. Now we crank it up a notch. So I'm partying hard like 7 days a week, working in a restaurant. Guys that work in restaurants know, down the shore, it's fucking wonderful. I started as a fry cook, and then I moved to bartending. And the coke got more. I had buddies from home living down there, so we were doing, drinking it and doing lines pretty fairly often. And then I remember my license was supposed to come back. I guess it came back or whatever at midnight, whatever that night was. And I decided I had to get to air conditioning, so I was going to drive after I had some beers and some other shit, I don't know. And they just took a chance at 4 a.m, pulled me over. I got a DUI. First time I was in handcuffs, and I didn't have my license. So I got to the station, and he's like, "You got your license?" I'm like, "I lost it." He's like, "You lost as in you can't find it?" And I'm like, "Nah, as in I got an underage drinking." He's like, "You think you got a drinking problem?" I'm like, "Nah, just thirsty, officer." I didn't say that at all. I mean, he drove me back and dropped me off, basically. So that was another 6-month suspension of my license. Then the next summer, about 20 years old, talked about doing coke. I'm going to try to speed this one up. And somebody had meth, tried that, didn't know what that was like, thought it was like coke. And this is the only like little side story that was pretty wild. So I remember I couldn't sleep. It was like 11 in the morning, and I'm like, I got to go to bed. So I like went back down to my place, and I'm like trying to eat something. I couldn't eat. Went into work, fry cooked the whole night. I started tripping by the end of the night because I couldn't eat, and I just started hallucinating. And then my heart rate went up to like 180 beats or something ridiculous. They called 911. I had to get taken out on this chair. Not a lot of people know this story. In my boxer shorts in front of like people at the restaurant. It fucking sucked. So got to the hospital. My parents had to fly from Philly down to like Atlantic City. So I think it was indirectly related to the meth, because I have blood sugar issues. I'm hypoglycemic, so and that's gonna play into hangovers and shit. So I think I just wasn't eating because of the meth, and I just fucking had a hypoglycemic episode. So then my friends left and went home. Meaning like they weren't going down the shore no more. They got jobs because I was going to teach, so I was going to continue this whole thing. So the coke kind of went away there. So now we get into the pills. So about 23, my buddy comes over and it's like, you've done perks or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's my mom again said I'm allergic to shit like that, like codeine and all that. So I'm like, I don't think I had when I had my wisdom teeth out, but I don't think that I can fuck with those or whatever. He's like, oh, you never try. So I tried them, and like, of course, I liked them. I liked them a lot. And I just remembered that he would give them to, or I would get them, and I would always eat mine before he ate all his. And then I'd be asking him if he had more. And, you know, he'd call me pill piggy and stuff. And I was just like, I don't know, man, maybe I have a high tolerance. You know, like that's what I just thought. Like, that's what I told myself, that I had a very high tolerance. So that led into, I tried Rockasets, which I called Smurfs. And that hit pretty good. And I like those. But mind you, I knew they were I knew where that led. I knew that was going to lead to withdrawal. So I was always like, I would only get enough so that it would make it uncomfortable for me to ask them again for whatever it was. And I wasn't going anywhere else besides someone I knew. I looked up every pill that I ever took. So very calculated that whole time. So let's see, fast forward. So like that was then I got back home. I was at the gym. A trainer was on perks. He's getting them for me. The owner's getting them for me, but I'm not getting addicted to them. I'm just doing them once a month, getting them at a certain amount of time. My brother-in-law comes back and he has introduced me to Oxy. So I started fucking with those, but again, I would only do them once on the weekend or whatever. Go down the shore. Another dude had them, and I would buy them randomly there, but again, knowing that could lead to a bad spot. So the shore ends. That part of my life is over. I come back home, and now it's just whatever drugs came through. You know, like I said, pills, Addy, Coke, whatever, but nothing steady. Just did what was in front of me. My roommate moves in, lives with me. He's from high school for 2 years. He's getting perks, same deal, just buying them, but only buying a little bit. So that's kind of repetitive. Now we're getting in to the good stuff. So I was engaged for 5 years, living with a girl, and yeah, that was about 2019. We got a French bulldog puppy, not the one I have sitting next to me, and he was quite a bit. And like we were arguing and stuff, and she's like, I worked at the funeral home, so I was only working funerals then, but I was trying to get extra work. So I went up and started cleaning the cars and stuff like that. So when I went up there and started doing that, I met this guy, Brian, that worked there, and he was a former addict, but he was like pretty much just smoked weed here and there, but he was a former heroin addict and all this shit. So he came over because he used to do some of the maintenance shit, and he came back, and now in this place of Ben Salem, I call it Smoke Shop Row. So it's lined, like they're spread sort of, but there's one right across from the funeral home. Like it's boom, diagonal. I couldn't see it unless I walked down the end of the street. He came back from there and he was like, I got cigarettes. He's like, all these fucking people over there are like bitching and fighting over it. This is paraphrasing about this stuff called Kratom. And I'm like, what the hell is Kratom? And he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, it's like a painkiller or something, he said. So my ear, and I perked up. You know, I was like, well, what? There's something over there in a smoke shop that's like this? So I had to grab my detective coat and my hat and my clipboard and go over and check it out afterwards. So I go over there, and it was in this shitty black bottle, and it was powder and had a little spoon. Now, I don't know anything about it. You know that I look shit up, so I'm looking up stuff, and I'm not really finding a whole lot at that point. But I saw some things that looked shady about it, and I'm like, ugh, I was nervous, to be honest. And he was not promoting it. And the thing that sucks is he's not with us anymore. He fell back into drug addiction, not from Kratom. He went hard the other way. He never really fucking got into it somehow. And I, not knowing, like, was like, dude, did you try that again? Like, so I was like, take this home. her and I are fighting now, and shit's pissing me off. So I'm like, don't know how to take this shit. So like at first I'm like, there's this little spoon. I'm like, that does not look like a gram. A gram of Coke looks like this. How much is this? So I'm just shoving it in, and I'm doing that wash and toss, whatever the fuck it is. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't even know if I didn't know if it even worked, honestly. So I then was like, I'm just throwing in a protein shake. So I started to recognize that when I would come home and throw it in there and drink it, I could deal with her shit more. It didn't bother me as much. So, like she'd leave shit in the sink. They put the dishwasher next to the sink for a fucking reason. It's to put the goddamn dishes right there. It's right there. You put them in there. Okay, that's why it's right there. It's never that far away. You're never going to get out of breath trying to go over there. But she used to leave that shit in there, and this is the stuff that would irritate me, and this is where Kratom helped. So I started like being like, well, wow, every time I come home, I can just like go right to that, start dumping it in there and drinking it. I didn't like this method. So I guess at some point, guys, I watched that documentary Leap of Faith. So I'm watching this fucking thing, and I'm seeing all these people in pain, these wrestlers like going across the kitchen and all this. And I'm like, well, all right, I'm waiting. You know how we do. We're like, well, where's my lane for this stuff? So I'm like, well, I'm not in that kind of pain, but I do work out. So, and this guy seems legit. So, and then it got to like, oh, working out, and you could feel good off it, and it can produce this. I'm like, here we go. And that's all. I was just looking for my nugget to make it justifiable for me to continue to take this. If you guys remember, there was a woman from Florida in there that was saying that her son, she believes, died from this. So I'm sitting there going, you're just like the weed people. You just want to get rid of this natural thing because the pharmaceutical companies want money. I'm like, fucking, like, screw that lady. She's ruining this, like all this stuff, right? So that doc pretty much, I'm like, all right, I didn't find good enough Kratom. That's the problem. So I go up, and at this point, I don't know why I didn't connect that there could be smoke shops around me. I just knew they were in Ben Salem. So right there, like within 3 minutes, there's a deli. I walk in and I see it. And I was like, wait a minute, it comes in liquid? And the guy working there didn't know much about it. He's like, yes, but very little. And I'm like, what? Like, he's like, the guy said to just drink like this much. And it was an OPMS green shot. And I was like, all right. So first of all, getting those fuckers open is hard. With the tin foil, I had to like poke or peel. If it peeled right, it was a pain in the ass. So I drink it, and I had to go to my parents' house. And I would say it hit pretty quick. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is what they're talking about. Now I get it. I was like, that feels like a Smurf. I was like, what the hell? I was talkative. I'm zipping. I'm like at my parents. I'm like, wow. So now I start going to the gym, the other gym that I went to in the morning. And I'm like, I'm going to get one of those after, because the deli opened at 6:30. I'm going to go there and get it. After the gym, before she won't see me get it because she's asleep. She's already at the house. And I would do the shot then. And then I don't think I was taking any pills during the day, like Kratom pills. I think and then it would be after school. I'm like, man, I could really use that pick me up again. And I go back and I get another one. And then I'm like, this shit's $16.95 a pop with tax. I'm like, this is getting expensive. I got to figure out something. So I saw these lift pills, and I started taking those, and I'm like, all right. And then I heard like it takes too long. I need shit to hit instantly. So like they were like, oh, it takes too long to dissolve and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm not putting it in my mouth. And I'm like, somebody said say 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm rambling. So anyway, I started putting the pills in between. So let's go to and doing like online stuff. I didn't know where to get it. I wasn't sure. I was like, this is working just fine for me. Go to California, and I'm like, well, I can't. I'm afraid of taking these shots on the plane. I don't travel a lot, so I don't know if they thought I'd make a bomb out of it or something. But I just didn't want to take. I think I took it before I left, and I'm like, they got to have it in California. I'm fucking going to California. So I get out there, and I think I was either in the air or I got down, and I went to San Fran, and I saw the lift company. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the Mecca, and I'm like, it's got to be here somewhere. I couldn't find it. I went to this weed shop and she wasn't too happy about that, my ex. So I was like, I don't think it's a good idea for me to try to find Kratom here. So I dealt with that, and I'm like, well, I didn't get withdrawals. That was 3 days. Like, maybe that's not true. So I was under the impression that people that had opioid addiction, that's where the withdrawals came in. And that's how I kind of viewed that for a while. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So, and I got back, shots are on, doing the shots again. And then I'm starting to go with different shit. I'm like, what's this MIT 45? So I said, everyone's like, oh, well, that's better. When I looked up, tastes like complete ass. Couldn't take the taste very much, but I didn't have to peel that little tin foil off. And I didn't have to take a thing and swish around the OPMS shots and pour a little bit of water in there, swish that. So I never left an alkaloid behind. So, and I was going to pay $17. I was getting every goddamn bit of that $17. So I vary with that. K shots, let's see what that does. But I keep going back to OPMS, keep going back to that. And the lift pills come in. So 2020, the pandemic hits. We break up. I'm like sort of using like regularly, but she doesn't really know. She's a heavy drinker. Things are not going that well. She leaves, and I'm in pandemic teaching mode, and I'm gonna slam these shots, take them in the morning to deal with this shit, because it's an excuse, right? I see everybody's depressed, and I'm the only one happy. I think I found the holy grail. I was like, these people don't know what they're missing. They take Ambien. Why can't I take this? They do this. I was like, it's just like weed. It has all these different strands, you know? So like, I kept doing that. Like I'm taking, like when we had lunch break, I'm doing a shot in between it. I'm doing a shot after it, justifying all of this. So before school, midday, after school, 2021, I start noticing there's different shops. I was like, there's got to be something around here. So I find one in my town, and he's got menus. I'm like, ooh, he's got shit from Vietnam. I can't even pronounce all the names. And I'm reading them like, what does that? Really? Okay. All right, let's get that. So, and I keep going there, and he punches this hole in my card. I get like 15, I get 15% off. Big deal. But I did it. Here's the card, dude, every day. But I would get the pills, and then I'd be like, well, what if they don't work? Let me get a shot too. So I would literally get both, throw the pills down. I wouldn't even wait till I got to the light. I'm like, I don't think these are working. And I would do the shot. And I'm like, this isn't going too well. I found another one that was one of my favorites that was on the way home from school. So now there's a rotation, because as you guys know, you don't want to show up to the same shop. So I had to pretend that sometimes I go in, if I went to the same one, I'm like, oh, it's been a 3-shot day. They give a shit like what I'm doing to go in there and get them. I just figured, I'm like, well, the deli guy didn't see me today, so he doesn't know I got it over here already. So it's in a circle. So there's everywhere I can go. I know where they all are at this point. The Luke oil, that was a gas station I was getting it at. Money's going downhill fast. So I want to sidebar this here, because I'm going to get into events that happened. I racked up all the debt that my parents actually helped me out with. So it had to be over 40 grand easily. And I'm hurting now. Like I'm barely figuring out how I'm going to get food, like from paycheck to paycheck. So I'm door dashing at this point, and I'm thinking, here's what I'll do. I will have to door dash the price of that shot. That's how I will get that shot. What I didn't think about is I needed the shot to start door dashing. And then it kind of defeated the whole fucking purpose of it all. So it just didn't work. Like this whole, like, well, I'll just pay for all my Kratom with DoorDash, but I needed the Kratom to start the DoorDash, so I just couldn't figure this out. It got bad enough that my buddies were asking me to hang out, do this activity. It was like 4 of us were going to go somewhere, and I was like, I don't have the money, dude. I didn't know what else to say. I was trying to be honest, and he sent me groceries, man, which was embarrassing. Like, it was very nice of him to do, but that's pretty damn. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So, and you would think, did you start noticing at this point? I hope I can go a little bit. I'm at 24. I'm trying to speed this up. I didn't think it was going to take this long. So stuff I started noticing, we'll talk about turning points. At school, I'm yawning, but I'm not noticing that it might be Kratom. All right, thanks, Ramy. Ramy knows when to shut me up. My nose is running. I got leg aches, but I'm like I'm ignoring this because I'm playing this game where I'm like, if I go to the deli and I do the shot and it takes the leg aches away, it's the Kratom that's doing it. And then I'd go get the shot, and then I would forget, and then I would think about it, and I'm like, I think the leg aches are still there. Why do you think I did that? So I could keep using. So at this point, there's a barber that's next door. He's the only freaking guy that I ever could talk Kratom, because I couldn't find anybody else that was on it. And we would start talking about symptoms, and then we would just go our separate ways. Nothing ever happened. I was like, why don't we taper together, dude? He's like, I don't taper, man. He's like, it's cold turkey or nothing. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I quit cigarettes, cold turkey. I was like, I'm probably a cold turkey too. So I tried tapering with pills, writing it down. It didn't work. At this point, I'm doing OPMS shots, 240 the packs, and I'm mixing shots, and now I'm going all over the place. I'm MIT pink, blue. I'm trying to get them all. Constipation. I felt like I was shitting out gobstoppers at times if I took too much powder. I'm hiding it at school. I'm taking it through the day and doing all that. Then all of a sudden, Rogan mentions feel free. Then I hunt that down, find that, drink it for the first time and thought there was cocaine in it because my lips went numb. I didn't think it was strong enough. I guess I didn't give it enough. It was cheaper. It was $10. So I just mixed it in. And it was in a rotation. Soma shots started climbing 200, 100, 200, 300. They tasted better. Started doing those. The guy at the gas station was like, hey, try this AMG shot. It's getting stronger now as we speak. I called it the Mercedes. I go in there, I'm like, give me that Mercedes, because AMG is Mercedes. He put the shot down. Mind you, all the clerks are just putting them out before I get there. That's like fucking with me a little bit. I'm like, all right, they already know. And how many are they grabbing at one time? So I am trying to find all the brands I can possibly get. Another story, I drink a freaking coffee before school, iced coffee, slamming OPMS, and I feel like it hit my stomach weird. But I got through it, drive to school, my vision starts going, like I thought I was going to pass out and just crash. I didn't know. I was like, what the fuck? And then it just passed. I got to school, I'm talking to a teacher, and I throw up in the school bathroom and leave, thinking that it was allergy pills. I took two in too short of a time. Yeah, let's go. I turned a bunch of people onto it, but none of it stuck, besides one friend, and that's a story for another day. So let me move it along, as I got 3 minutes, or I hope I can just go a little bit longer. Drinking, I drank a lot with the Kratom. Slammed them both. I was drinking whiskey, Kratom shots. It sat right here at Heineken's, Fireball, and Kratom and weed, just consistently. Things are not going well. She's threatening to take the dog that we're sharing now. I didn't tell you that. We shared this dog like a kid, and I'm really not doing well. So I go to this, one of my sisters, and I had a lot of alcohol, Adderall, weed, and I decided to take an OPMS to try to take the plane down and land. So I passed out downstairs, and my buddy jabbed me with a pool stick. My dog leaped at it, grabbed it. I got up and had a Kratom rage like nobody's business. I saw red, screaming, a lot of F-bombs, cursing at my sister, saying the most hurtful shit to my friend. He didn't talk to me for 6 months. We patched that up. So I was like, I got to quit drinking. Actually, another incident happened with my brother-in-law. I was arguing with him, so I stopped drinking because I knew Kratom was the dragon I still had to slay. It was going to be the harder dragon. Leaned heavy on the Kratom, stronger shots, the whole nine I just mentioned to you. Now I'm getting into April 24, 2024, March, April, yeah. And I looked up on Reddit. I stayed off the quitting Kratom stuff because I didn't want to see it at that point, but I had dipped in there. What's the strongest shot? 7OH comes up, EDP. Yellow Jackets. In Philly, these guys were talking, 7 of them. Only one person had something negative that said you will go up very quickly, your shots will increase, you'll be in withdrawals within 2 weeks. I looked at the guys that were like waiting on it for back order, and I was like, it's like one of those things like, oh, that's the one that's the worst? That's the one I want. I want the one that's the strongest. I'm like, I remember at that smoke shop, I swear I saw bumblebees or I saw Yellow Jackets. And sure enough, I was right. I went in there, it was like it was glowing. Little did I know. And I started on the 7.0, just sipping it down to that little fucking line I couldn't see. Then it just got more and more. And then the shots are creeping. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot. It's ramping up very fast. Credit cards are going through the roof. Now I'm eating pumpkin seeds like nobody's business, craving salt, pounding water, like 40 ounces of water every night. I am depressed at 6:30 for some reason. It hits, and I would feel this light crawl, like skin crawl in the back of my traps, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, if I go over and I would like sip that shot and it would go away. And I when the sleep started going, I was waking up at 2 a.m. to pee every night on the dot, and I could not get back the fuck to sleep. And I did not want to go take a shot because I was scared that that was what it was. I was taking melatonin. I tried to smoke weed. It wouldn't work. And I'm thinking I'm old. I'm peeing now, but my buddies talked about this when they were 60, not 47 or 5, whatever. And I'm like, it's just a lie that keeps telling me. I just totally said it was something else. It's not Kratom. This is healthy. It's legal. Why it can't be that? It's got to be everything else. I gained weight. My stomach was bloating out. I would feel like I did a shot and I felt it like it grew. People were like, I worked out since I was 19, and I still did on Kratom, but it became my energy drink, which was shit now that I know about it. So as that just kept ramping up, I'm in school and I'm losing it. I need to get the fuck out of school because I got to get off this shit. So I'm waiting. So school's like, and I go to this field trip. I'm in the Betsy Ross house, and I brought the bottle with me of a 7.0, and I start getting squirrely in the freaking Betsy Ross house. And my colleague looked back at me. She's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cool." So I was like, if I go in the bathroom at this feeding place, I take this and I'm fine. I'm fucked. And sure enough, that's what happened. I thought my blood sugar was low. I was like, oh, that's what it is. And I'm out there bopping around with the parents, and I'm like, God damn it. Then I get out of there. I'm like, dude, you got to stop this. And I go right to the shop, get another fucking shot. We all know how it works. I couldn't get my car to stop steering into that goddamn place. It was like somebody else was driving. So school ends, and then I'm like, I'm going to quit. And we know that didn't go well. I'm sorry if I'm a little over. I'm trying to get through this, guys, as fast as I can. I got a colonoscopy, and I'm nervous because I can't have this shit in my system. So I'm really worried. How am I going to do it? So I waited like the night before I did the whole thing. I'm shitting my brains out. I'm like, I hope this clear. I'm like, what the hell are they going to tell me my colon looks like? So I took like a little baby sip that helped me get to bed. I get up. My dad takes me. It's 9:30, and I get in that waiting room, and I'm in full-blown withdrawal. Like, I'm going through it. I'm like, this is not cool. I'm sweating. I'm cold. I'm squirreling on the fucking chair. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, when are they going to take me? They finally call my name. I'm in the bed, and I'm like, every guy that comes by, is he the anesthesiologist? I'm looking for him. I can't get comfortable. I'm like really having a hard time. So everybody comes by. I'm like, you the guy? They're like, yo, relax, man. Like, you're going to be good. And I'm just like, you have no idea. So I have a shot in my bag for when I get up, just in case. He finally comes over. He's like, what do you take? I'm like, weed every day and Kratom. He's like, I'm not judging. I'm like, dude, I know. I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you of anybody. And he's like, all right, I'm going to give you the Michael Jackson shot, 750. I'm like, good. So he brings me in there. He's like, you're going to hear some music and you're done. Knocks me the hell out. I get up thinking maybe this shit will last and I can get to breakfast with my mom. That didn't happen. Still in withdrawal. Do the shot, go to breakfast. I'm like, oh man. School's coming up in a month, and I'm getting scared. So I go on and I look up, I'm on Reddit. I'm like, what can I take to get off this shit? So it's Quick K. I get in there, I go down, I order that shit, and I look down and I see a podcast. I hit that. Playing it right in this living room. I sit, I start bawling out because I start hearing people tell me their story, and I realize that this shit's real, that this is really happening to me. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if it was Decima in there, but they're like, you got to tell a family member. I'm like, can I wait to tell my parents once I get off of it? So so many people, I don't know if they were on the podcast, kept saying to tell family. So I broke down and told my parents, hardest thing to tell them, I got all the way back in debt, and they can't even understand what this shit is. So my dad's like getting into the meeting. So I get in there, and it was I think I shared my first time. I might have had 3 days at that point. And at the end, what you call what the lobby would be considered, or afterwards, is Decima, this other dude that's not here, Jared, and Decima said to me, "Hey, Mike," or Mike, she didn't know me. So, "Do you need help speaking and saying words correctly?" No, I'm just kidding. No, she's like, do you want to share or something? And I was like, yeah. And I just started talking to people that knew my language. Jared stayed on there with me to like 10. Austin was his name. He stayed on there. And every supplement they told me to get, I got. We got mucuna purines, I can't pronounce, grapeseed oil, NAC, DLPA, lipovitamin C. I started slamming that about 3 days into 6 days, like religiously setting on the clock and just pounding it to see if I could get through some of that restless leg shit. It helped a little bit, but honestly, you got to just get through it. I was going to do it cold turkey. That's what I agreed to do. What time is it? All right, I got to speed this up. So anyway, that went on. I listened to podcasts because there were no meetings. There was only 8 o'clock meetings. There wasn't 3 a day. Brandon Novak, I was listening to YouTube stuff. Anybody that had a sobriety story that I could find. I couldn't see straight for 2 weeks. I didn't know what that was about. I had no appetite. I was just eating smoothies and yogurt. I started diary entering, and I wrote all that down. I was crying at everything. And yeah, we're going to move into day 3. This is not something I recommend. I was so scared of the withdrawals. I took Zaza, and I never took it again. Don't recommend that. I agreed when I got into the group that I was going to do assessment at 369 in a year. That's what I wanted to do. At 3 months, I hit anhedonia, and I went to the doctor. Finally, got on Wellbutrin. Rode that out for a while. It didn't get everything out. It helped for a little bit. Summer 2025, I ramped up meetings, started giving out my number to people, and trying to help and give back to the community. And it just did wonders. It was the hole that was missing. I stayed in that lobby, tried to help as many people as I could. And I got a year, and I was freaking thrilled. And then I decided I needed to up the Wellbutrin, and that shit changed everything. The anhedonia was completely gone. I'm in such a great spot. Sorry I rambled on too long. I'm hitting the gym every day. I got everything came back. I could share other stuff along the way. Hosting has been nothing, and I say it like that, and I'm gonna say it like that. Hosting has been wonderful. I wasn't going to enough meetings in the beginning, and I do now, and I really appreciate this group. And I'm sorry that it just took a lot longer than I thought. There is a way out. Peace.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. Don't need to apologize for anything. I'm really glad this happened tonight. It is not my privilege to thank you tonight. I'd like to designate a official speaker thanker tonight. That's going to be the other Mike.
Yo, the other Mike here. What's up? Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing your story, man. Yeah, just incredible seeing the transformation in you. I remember, your early days, and that fear that a lot of us had when we first came in here, feeling like, like, is it ever gonna stop? What's gonna help me get through this? And you're just a testament to the power of staying connected to the group and giving back to others, and just being a part of a community, and how much power there is in that. So it's just really been really great to watch you grow and turn into the person that you are. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of my favorite things about this community. I could ramble on for 6 or 7 minutes, but I'm going to shut up and let people share. So I just wanted to thank you. It's been an honor to hear your story and to be a part of your journey, brother.
Thank you, Mike Rowe. Okay, so we have some time for shares. We'll still I'm not going to designate a topic. Feel free to reflect on what Mike said. Thank him if you want. And also, obviously, if there's anyone struggling, we really want to hear from you. That's the whole reason for this. I just want to say thanks, Mike, again. So I see Richard, you've had your hand up for a minute, so you're first, so go ahead.
This is Trey from Baltimore. I'm on hour 45 right now. I was literally in the Betsy Ross house last week with my kids on a trip to Philadelphia with this fucking OPS 60s in my pocket, feeling the same fucking way. I can't believe you said that in this meeting right now. I'm on hour 45 right now, and I'm fucking dying. And I'm really happy to have found you guys. This place is gonna help me out a lot. I can tell. I can hear a story like that and know that there's a fucking way out. And I appreciate it. Thanks all.
That gave me chills. Thank you, Richard. I found in my own recovery when there's something that seems like a coincidence, it's not, and to follow that as a sign. So thank you for opening us and opening up the sharing with that. That was powerful. Henry, you're next.
Hey everybody, Henry, New York City. I'm finishing up day 2 after relapse. And Mike, I really just appreciate your story, and that just going through and the vulnerability and the details, right? Those little details that that make it feel so real and that resonate for other people. You're just a great storyteller, and yeah, the kids that you've worked with over the years, I'm sure are really lucky. So thanks for sharing tonight, and thanks for everything you've brought to this community, and everything you brought to my recovery as well.
Thank you, Henry. Well said. Ramy, you're next.
Yo, just popping in here, say, Mike, that was a hell of a story, bro. That was my best Philly accent. It didn't go well, but fuck yeah, dude. Honestly, the way you talk, dude, I'm surprised you got that done before 8 o'clock, to be honest with you, man. That was amazing. But I could have listened to that whole. I want to hear that whole thing. I know you have some bangers, and I know you got more. We'll hear it though. But yeah, dude, I just wanted to say how proud of you I am. I watched. You always talk about how you made the change where you started to do more in here, and I just saw the big difference too. And it's like you've helped out so many people doing that. I know it's helped you a ton, but God, you're so important to all these people here. I'm just so glad you did that. So that's all. I just wanted to say thanks, bro. I'm glad you're in my life too, man. So I love you guys, and I'm also having a good day. So later.
See, Mike, you made Ramy have a good day, and that's like pretty rare. So, and I just want to say it's probably happened before, but hearing a Louisiana accent imitate a Philly accent's first time for me. Thanks, Ramy. I love you, man. Greg, you're next.
Hey, Mike. I appreciate that story. I want to hear the hour version. I don't think these should be limited to 30 minutes. I want to hear that whole thing. I really appreciate what you said. I love this place. I'm on day 4. I'm doing fine. Fuck this shit. Fuck Kratom. But hey, I love y'all guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks for the love for Mike, Greg. That was great. Becca, go ahead.
Hey everyone, Becca here from Vancouver, BC. I have 46 days today. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Mike. Your story was absolutely incredible. You have been such an important part of my journey here, and thank you for everything you do for this community. But yeah, I just want to say, like, you encouraging me to be honest with people and tell people at the beginning of my journey, that was so helpful for me. And yeah, I just want you to say that you have made such an impact on me, and hearing your story today was, I wanted to listen to more. So I'm sorry you got cut off, man, but yeah, it was extremely inspiring, and you helped a lot of people by telling that story today. So thank you.
Thanks, Becca. I love hearing about the interactions between members and when they first came in, and that was one of my favorite parts of Mike's story. So Jamie, you're next.
Hey everybody, Jamie in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm on day 69. And I just wanted to say thank you, Mike, so much for sharing your story. I've only been here a couple of months, but you've been there from the beginning, and I consider you a friend. And I'm really, really happy for you and how far you've come in your journey, and aspire to be, just like you when I grow up. So thank you so much for the story, and thanks for being a great friend.
Thank you, Jamie, and congrats on the infamous day 69. That's very celebrated around here. I might have skipped you before, Amy. Sorry, but you're next. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, this is Amy. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is day 47 for me. Mike, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. I just related to so much of it. Just my drug of choice was Feel Free. That's all I ever used, but I used a ton of it, and how it helped me get through the days and just make all those little moments easier, and how I became so dependent on it. And, I've just felt like such a huge piece of shit for such a long time for like letting this happen to me. That's kind of how I was seeing it. But like hearing your story just reminds me that like this is a really powerful drug, and it just fucking takes over. And I was just powerless over it. And it's not my fault. Like I am not my addiction. So I just wanted to say thank you. I could have listened to you just talk all night. So just thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy, and ditto to that. Still got time. I'll quickly throw a thank you, and please throw some hands up because we got about 10 minutes. Yeah, Mike, I had no idea. I've like been in a lot of meetings with you, but just to hear all that story you were holding in, and your shares are always so focused on supporting other people, that all this sort of this insanity in your past. And it was cool to hear kind of like just the intensity of how much information and all these things. And then when you got to the end, it just felt like I felt relief when you talked about finally getting off the Kratom, and I could just really like empathize with that, how it just like life finally slows down and starts making sense. It was really beautiful. And don't worry about going over. I think that like part of sharing your story is just it's a healing process for all of us, but for the person sharing, what needs to come out needs to come out. Keep doing that. So we got Ranson up next.
Hey y'all, Branson, Kratom addict, 10 days clean. Yeah, I felt so much in common because I was also an OPMS guy. And then it seemed like every time I tried to go sober, they released a new flavor. And then, but now it's sticking. And then also the debt and the family. Like the family has really, I love them dearly. And they really did. I mean, they no longer like they put a line in the sand back in the 2020. But like when I first started accruing the debts, they did come help. So I felt like seen, and it was cool to know that I'm not the only one who's been through that. And yeah, seeing your road to recovery and how awesome and like just vibed up in a good way you are is really cool, man. So thank you for sharing your story and your stuff with us. And thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Branson. Congrats on day 10. That must feel good. You're some of the worst shit is behind you. So happy you're here, man. Thank you for sharing. Steven, you're next.
Hey y'all, Steven, I'm in Georgia on day 36 today. And Mike, man, that's something else, dude. I freaking love your story, dude. It's a wild ride, man. And it's a miracle. It really is. You're a real shining example of how low we can go and then how high we can come out of it, because I've been able to get to hear you back in that time when there was only like 16, 17, 18 people on the meeting every night. It was just 8 o'clock at night. I've been through this rodeo before, and Mike was there at that time. And I love it when you share, man. I love when you speak from the heart, you speak real. and we can identify, man. We can identify with your ride, dude. And that's what I need. That's what I need. And I appreciate you very much, Mike. I love you, man. And I love when you share, and I love when you host for us and stuff like that, man. So everybody have a good night, and thanks, man.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, it's cool to be reminded of how much this community has grown. And remember when it was, a couple nights a week and almost all the squares could fit on the screen at once. And I think it hit 58 tonight, Mike, while you're speaking. So that's pretty rad. James, you're next.
Hello. Thanks for hosting, Matt. This is James, Tucson, Arizona, 225 days. I just want to shout out Mike. Mike, you're such a good dude. I really liked your story. So much relatable shit. I feel like our timeline and progression of Kratom use is so similar, dude, like powder to extracts and just letting it get out of control the way it did. But your story was so in line with mine that it just fucking hit home, dude. And it's been cool getting to know you, man. You're just a good dude. Appreciate you being here. Love the Vote for Pedro shirt. Maybe you'll drop a quote before the meeting ends. But love you, dog. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, James. We still got time for one or two more if anyone wants to share. Please, if you're struggling and you have nothing positive to say, this is still your meeting and we want to hear from you. So throw up those hands if that's where you're at. All right, Richard, thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Mike, that was a fantastic and great share, man. I too am 47 years old, so I was following it with my timeline, and it was pretty close. So for everything. So it's crazy, man. We're grateful that we're here because it could just, God knows what could have happened. I always think about that when I come on here, but I just wanted to say great share and appreciate it, Mike. Thanks.
Oh, my mic was still on. Thank you, Richard, for sharing and for timekeeping, though. I didn't think anyone put you to work too much tonight. People have been pretty concise in their shares. But thanks, everyone. If there's no other hands, I'm just going to read the outro, and then, of course, the room stays open. But let's throw up some more claps and love hearts and all that stuff for Mike. That was really awesome. And I just want to say too that I'm a big fan of speaker meetings. One, because then you hear less of me as the host and you hear more of someone else, but also I just think it's a really how we kind of get to know one another here on a deeper level. I think and it's hard to do, especially your first time, to get up and just, it's the only place I find that you can just talk about the worst parts of your life and be loved for it, So Mike, thank you so much for sharing all that stuff with us. And I'm trying to think of things to say while I pulled the outro. Sorry, I forgot we had an outro. Keep it in mind, all of you too, that after you get a certain amount of time and you feel comfortable with your sobriety and you're sharing a lot in these meetings and hosting and everything, I'm eventually going to ask you to speak at a meeting. So start thinking about what you're going to say. And not just me, other people too might ask. Okay, so thank you for joining us tonight. To those joining us for the first time, we're sorry for the struggles that led you to us, but we're so glad you found your way here. We hope you will keep coming back. You're not alone in this journey. As a gentle reminder, the lobby remains open between meetings for continued support and conversation. We welcome casual chatter, but let's always keep the spirit of our community in mind by warmly greeting everyone that enters, especially our newcomers. Please also continue to respect privacy and confidentiality in the lobby. We maintain a safe and welcoming environment by listening actively and giving everyone a chance to share. Thank you all again for sharing this time and space together. There is a way out, so feel free to come off mic and yell whatever you want.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Matt.
man.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Mike.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Fox 708 and stay positive.
Birds. Great job, man. Thanks for telling your story, Mike.
Thanks again, dude. That was great.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks everybody for the comments. It's a big weight lifted off. Yeah, I had a lot written down. If you guys could only see it. So yeah, maybe there will be a part 2 at some point.
We'll have to have a part 2. I vote part 2.
Yeah, I guess I would have went more into the where I am now. I guess, but that could happen through hosting and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Great job.
You
Thank
did an
you.
awesome job.
Mike's a mother effing badass.
Come on.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Night,
night,
Matt.
Matt.
Good night, Matt.
Buddy.
Night.
Night.
Come on.
Hey, there we go. What's up, buddy?
Say hi, Dex.
Hi, Dax.
That's a cute puppy.
Yeah, his name is Dexter after the
doggy.
shirt.
Wait, I gotta see the doggy.
So cute.
Oh, sweetie pie. Oh my God, what a cutie. Oh, so sweet.
I'm gonna rub that belly.
Look at his ears. If you can see, his ears are spotted. They're pretty cool.
Aww.
So we got another meeting in 15.
Yeah. To those of you who are sticking around, there's another meeting. Do we know who's hosting?
There's a West Coast meeting tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, slay.
Yeah, who's hosting that?
Uh,
I think it's John.
John or Jane? Papa.
It is not my day, damn it.
I think John mentioned earlier he was doing it.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Nope, no problem. I'm sure somebody has it covered.
TJ should definitely do it.
I've been so freaking busy. I don't.
How was your bar crawl? Was it fun? Did you have fun?
Yeah, indeed.
Hell yeah. Well, did you
I'll
get to
tell you
laugh
the
at
story.
people?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a story for you though. I'll give you a holler.
I'm always here. You know my number.
All right, everybody. Good night. I'm gonna head out.
Hey, man, take it easy. Great story.
Good night, Mike. Thank you for sharing. That was freaking awesome.
So, Elizabeth, did you say the word slay?
I did say the word slay.
Okay, I was trying to think of that. My niece used it the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, okay. It's a.
I used to use it ironically, but now it's not even ironic.
Yeah. That's funny.
I love that word.
Yeah, that's a good one. It is.
I still have not finished packing.
And you're leaving what time?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, sorry, it just connected to my car. What did you say?
You're leaving at what time?
That's TBD.
Okay.
TBD. Hopefully, like latest by 6.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know, it's a little bit ambitious, but I just did my final Walmart run, got the last few things I need, got all my food. Tomorrow morning, all I'll have to do is like set up the coolers. I don't want to like put the stuff in the cooler tonight, you know? But I have everything packed. I just need to finish packing my clothes and then like all like the everything shower, all that jazz. Enjoy my last a hot shower for a week.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I should be able to finish up and go to sleep at a decent hour. I don't know. I'm hoping. I originally needed to be there by like 8, so I would have had to leave my house at like 3. But my friends, thank God, were able to like save a bunch of space, so I don't have to worry about like rushing there to have space.
Man, you're gonna have so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. Now I'm actually excited because I'm almost done getting ready.
Yep.
But I'm so happy there's another meeting to listen to while I like finish doing everything.
Yep. Oh, Becca, I just talked to my husband and the shirt arrived. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad you got it.
Yes, ma'am. You're awesome.
So, anybody been watching horror films lately? Any good ones?
Not any good ones. I tried Weapons. I couldn't get through it.
Oh, really?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I'm
that one.
super harsh critic, and I don't like scary movies. So, like all the jump scares, I was just like, "Come on."
It wasn't good. I was really hoping that would be good. I wanted to watch
Don't
it.
take my word. Like I said, I'm a very harsh critic of some films, and so it just didn't hold my interest or my attention.
I feel that.
I enjoyed it, Liz. I think it depends. I saw it in theaters though, so I guess that might be easier.
Like forces your focus.
Maybe so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That Substance movie, everybody keeps telling me to check that out. Is that pretty good?
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't like that one either.
It was crazy. That was like pushing it a little.
It was
too
like it got campy or something. I don't know. It was I wanted to like it. I liked the premise, I loved Demi Moore.
Mhm.
And the other actress, what's her name?
Oh yeah, she's in that show, The Leftovers. That show is actually.
Oh, yeah. That was a great fucking show.
She's also in Tarantino's